Ultraviolette F77 is the best thing that's happened to us motorcycling enthusiasts when we talk about the switch from conventional to electric. Looks, performance, handling, feel. It's a tasty recipe when you put everything together in one bowl, but then there's the spicy garnish of pricing that's a little difficult to digest. Remove that out of the equation and things are very nice. We did manage to ride this at the start of the year, but this time around, it is with us in our city of Pune for a full road test. There's one obvious thing that we want to test, range. But before we get to that, here's a quick little recap. The F77 gets 3 modes, Glide, Combat and Ballistic. Glide being the base mode will get you the most range, and Ballistic being the top mode gets you the most performance. Ultraviolette claims the top speed is 147 km per hour and the range in Glide is a claimed 307 km according to IDC. Truth be told, IDC isn't real-world riding and all of the riding is actually done inside a lab. Sure, it replicates real-world conditions, but it's not the real world. This is the actual test in the city of Pune. First up, we start off with Glide. It's the simplest, the easiest mode out of the 3. What I really like about Glide is the performance ceiling. It's not as low as some of the electric scooters that we have in our market today. It's still fast, still very engaging, and I promise that your daily commutes are still going to be so much fun. Now, before we started the range test, we saw 260 kilometers on a 100% charge. We did manage to get it down to 0%, and the trip total that we could manage was 193. Of course, this was done in mixed conditions, which means riding it in the city as well as on the highway. But if your commutes are going to be strictly in the city, then you can expect a realistic range of anywhere between 220 to 230 kilometers. It might not be the most accurate, but anything above 200 kilometers in one single charge is very impressive. Next, we have Combat. Switch the motorcycle on and you have 204 kilometers of range. This mode offers a great balance between range and performance. Not saying that Glide is not there in terms of performance, but this is definitely better. After a full drop to 0, the total kilometers that we could manage was 177. Again, the accuracy is still off, but still pretty impressive. But now we move on to the mode that I am looking forward to the most, Ballistic. After an enjoyable run across the city and being on the highway, here are a couple of things that stood out. Number one, this motorcycle is fast, no doubt about it. Overtaking, roll-on acceleration, it just goes like a missile. I absolutely love it. Second, the ballistic mode should have been a little more ballistic off the line. It takes a second after liftoff for all that torque from the motor to kick in, and when it does, it just goes. Now, when we started our range test, it showed 174 kilometers and we managed a total trip of 150 kilometers, and it's not bad at all. Of course, it does not stay in ballistic all the time because at 29% it will switch to Combat, 19% to Glide, and for the last 4 or 5% it will do the hover mode. But if you find an endless patch of empty road and if you want to be on the throttle all the time in ballistic, it won't do that either because the screen will pop up a message and it will say motor in D-ration. And that's the motorcycle telling you to take it easy. But after riding for about 5 to 6 odd kilometers, it will switch back to ballistic mode. Now, what really happens in this D-ration mode is that you won't really feel any change in the roll-on acceleration, but there will be a cap on the top speed, so you won't be doing 140 plus. Instead, what you will be doing is about 115 to 120 kilometers per hour. But all in all, what a mode. I absolutely enjoyed it. To charge the F77, we got the boost charger, which is faster than the standard. Even with this, it takes somewhere between 5.5 hours from 0 to 100%. But with the range that you are getting, I believe that you won't find yourself in the charging space a whole lot often. It is a good product, but is it great? Not really. I wish it was, but it's not quite there yet. Apart from the range and the charging time, there's the question of weight. 207 kilos is not really light. Now you won't feel it when you're riding the motorcycle, but you will feel it when you take it off the side stand. Also when you try to maneuver the motorcycle in tight parking spaces. When you try to do that with the motor on, the motor drag is too strong and it becomes a little difficult. There's the reverse mode, but as is, personally for me it's not happening. And then you have the seat. It's not the softest of seats and it can get uncomfortable over long distances. Now suppose you want to go for a Sunday run with your buddies and the F77 can totally pull it off, but the seat along with the committed riding posture can make things a little uneasy. And then you have the mirrors as well. For my frame, they're a little too small and the adjustment is also not that great. But there are some good things, some really good things about the motorcycle. Handling being the first. I love how the F77 handles. It is a fun, enjoyable motorcycle. One of the strong points is handling. And I also feel the ride quality is also very sorted. But there are these few things that I spoke of and I wish the brand works on them. Coming to the pricing, yes, it is expensive. But then again, the F77 was never supposed to be a massy product. It is a premium product for sure. I wish it was a lot more accessible. For this generation, I personally feel that the brand has focused a lot more on form than function, and I wish that changes going into the future, especially with the next generation of the F77. It has to get better. It definitely can, because I see the potential here. For now, the brand is working on 10 levels of region, which should help with personalized riding as well as better range if it is ridden in the highest setting. But that's for later. This is the story of the F77 in the city. Range in all three modes, charging time, the things that we liked and the things that we did not. Let us know what you think about the F77 in the comment section below. We would love to interact with you there. Like this video, share it with your friends, and I will be back with some more motorcycle content very soon on PowerDrift. My name is Varun Painter and I will see you later. Let's go. आ रहा है बड़ा क्लाउड आ रहा है. आप मेरे को बोलो अगर आपको सही लग रहा है. Empty patch of road, like an endless empty patch of road, and if you want to be on the throttle.
कैसा मकसद है कैसा एहसास है